Is all the suffering that befell the inhabitants of our city the result of the actions of the society, or a controlled process? And is this just the beginning? Although I decided for myself that even if it's someone's invisible hand, our society has deserved it. We have, by our actions, by buying sneakers or even a beet salad, supported those who build laboratories and businesses and then uses them to plunge us into the abyss. Not even a month has passed, and yet it feels like an eternity. I am not who I once was, but not a shadow either, merely changed to a different form, like a kind of energy. That fateful day changed everything. I can only guess those at the top panicked and their lapdogs at USEC jumped to the call to massacre myself and my fellow scientists. We knew too much. Where am I? The Scavs might be rough, but they aren't stupid. It took cunning and creativity to stay alive in the aftermath of the city's collapse into madness. By the time I turned up, I didn't look much like anyone. Destroyed clothes and caked in mud. But English speaking, I was an enigma. Given I had no weapons, and figuring I could be useful, the Scavs took me in to help them translate certain intelligence documents. This is the only line of work that pays these days, getting mixed back up with the damn PMCs. They pay sometimes in rubles, but mostly in bottles of moonshine, and the occasional intelligence document that the Scav groups use for onward barter with those shady figures who have taken an interest in Terragroup and its activities. It is those documents that interest me the most. As I continue to integrate into Scav life, we eat, we drink, and we scavenge together. I have picked up some rudimentary Russian, but it means little as we have few words to say. This life is animalistic, relying on instinct to get through each hour. The PMC economy is all that is left of Tarkov's tattered commercial ecosystem, and through luck and a few chance meetings, I have managed to enter the employment, if you can call it that, of the one they refer to as Prapor. He pays well for the return of deceased PMC equipment, but it's nasty work. However, it gives me free rein to investigate areas that were previously off limits. How else would I be able to search through the customs terminal on Skier's patch without Prapor's blessing? This was the only way. I have made some interesting discoveries. Using the intelligence that has been passed from PMC to Scav and onwards, it has no value to the other Scavs outside myself. The phrase blue ice appears many times, and it's a phrase that I don't recognize from my previous life. We used to work on our specific niche at the lab, with little interaction on the big picture. I didn't think much of it back then, as the tendency to get caught up in the details of your work are great. But looking back, it all makes sense, and the reason we all had to be removed in the first place. Day by day, I become more familiar with the weapons of this strange landscape, the tools of the trade that keep us alive. Although we ultimately work for the PMCs, you never want to meet one out in the wild. They are like cornered wolves, cut off from their supply lines and chains of command. They butcher their fellow man in an idling. Not that they really consider us human at all. But worst of all is the Scavs themselves. There are those who are in the same situation as us, the same daily struggle, but are violent beyond the point of reason. They will do anything to get by, slit your throat at night or put an AK round through your head at a mere glance. For those who have seen what I've seen, we can empathise. To see your friends, family, brutally butchered in the fall, that could do something to a person that cannot be undone. Scav-on-scav violence is a daily occurrence, but they never last long. The smart here know it's in our mutual interest to gather our resources to survive. On my routine collection routes, I have come across barrels of the material hinted in the documents, both in the old chemical plant number 16 and in the storage warehouses that used to service it around customs. The area has been barricaded off for some time, but from what I can gather, and the word on the street, there's increasing PMC activity, specifically of the USEC variety. I think they plan on reopening a route up between the storage areas and the factory itself. Today is the day. I believe I'm the only one that knows, and I've taken some time out of the usual routine to watch from afar. I suspect that the link between the warehouses, the factory, and the main route out of the customs terminal is to be reconnected. Exactly how is not yet clear, but the PMCs are calling it Operation 12-7, and it's going to be big. Damn, they actually did it. But for once, we're one step ahead.